think I'm mainly going to debug. There's this very annoying problem now that for whatever reason is not deleting properly. It's saying that there's a heap corruption when I try to delete the nodes that I'm creating here. And the other thing that is very weird is that it seems that it's not finding the node with this name, even though I'm setting here. So I'm not sure what's going on. And it doesn't break what I'm doing there, but it is kind of annoying because it shows warning messages that resources were leaked. So preferably I would like to solve this before continuing with everything else. But it depends on how much it takes me to solve this. This other problem does affect what I'm doing, so I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do about it because I don't have any ideas now on how to solve this. But yeah, it's supposed to be putting the name of this node to simdoc, and then since it's returning this node, and the other one is a child of this, you should be able to get the node here. But for whatever reason, that's not working. I'm just gonna leave it like this. The other thing that I want to do is I'm going to test first if you put the scroll container on the panel, because I think that the scroll container is gonna allow it's gonna be the easiest way to allow the elements that I put inside of the dock to not overflow into the other dock. So that's probably gonna be the easiest solution. So I'm gonna try that first. But even after I try that, I'm gonna have to set the file system dock. Also, I changed the nodes to put the breakpoint there because I was getting some error. If you set the editor equals true, but you don't pass the flag, it seems that there is a problem with the node name. This is another thing that is happening. And it's kind of annoying because it does show on the project as well when I open from the editor later. So I'm not really sure what's going on. Yeah, so here it just stays stuck here. If I remove the free, then it works. So there's two things. I think I'm going to do it without the, yeah, I'm doing it without the flag here, the flag to load the editor. So I'm just gonna run the debugger. I did realize, I did this, figure out how to change the bar there. You have to set the style. So I have to set the theme for the bar on the scroll container. And there's different kinds of things there. And I spent a bunch of time setting the theme on the editor. They use their own special theme. But it's becoming more clear to me. It's easier and easier to figure out, to understand how it works. So this is basically the problem here. It doesn't find anything. The issue is that I can't even think about reasonable solution. It might be because of the types. I guess this is the thing that I was gonna look into it. Because I'm pretty sure the way that I was doing before is basically the same thing. Yeah, I'm putting node as a type here. So that's the weird thing. So the only thing that makes sense is that it has to do with something like with the cycle for whatever reason, but maybe it has to do with the owner. Let me, I'm gonna try to I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna finish the thing there, but I'm gonna try making the owner of the node. Just see what happens. I try multiple different functions as well instead of this one to remove all the nodes. Mm. So I think that this run is not working because it is trying to is deleting the root first. Hmm. Let me see. I'm gonna try. a very simple solution to see if it works. But I don't think it's gonna work, but I think it's worth trying. So yeah, look, what if I just delete the nodes? I think it's not gonna work because it's only gonna delete the and this was something I was thinking about today. Like if you have a node, because the mem delete, the function that they create, should free the memory based on the memory pool that they have. So I'm not really sure how it works on the memory pool when you have a class that's like when you use memnew to initialize a class that initializes other classes inside of its constructor. Where is the class going to put the memory? And I think that it puts them probably on different places. Yeah, I think every time you use memnew is gonna put in another place. So if you delete only the roots, it doesn't. But if that was the case, then it's kind of weird that it gives a memory heap corruption when you delete the root first. Hey, what's up? We use the same idea. ID. Is running the thingy, yeah. So I'm just gonna press F5 here a bunch of times. Yeah, so it still complains even though like, if you don't run with the debugger, then it stops there. I think it gets stuck after the first corruption. But if you do it here, then for whatever reason, it still goes through. But then it complains still that uh, the resources were leaked. So let me file again. It's kind of weird that it is creating this file here because I never ran with the headless command, I think. Maybe I did that by mistake. So I think it leaks because it only deletes the first one. So when I delete, so what I have to think about is how to do it the other way around. I think you should, like the problem is I already use recursion. So the other approach that I was doing, it was working on the manager, is this function here. But I think it works on that one for some weird timing reason because this runs on the destructor of the Edge HTTP manager. I'm just gonna put here and say. Hmm, that's weird. So why isn't this very weird? So maybe it has something to do. So I think he's not putting the node on the tree, but like the only explanation that makes sense to me is something to do with the way that the setup is working. So it might have something to do with the main setup function. Because the main difference is that on this one it loads the scene from the file. So I'm getting the nodes, the roots of the scene from the file. Then I add nodes to that root. Still, that doesn't make any sense. Let me. I have just sats after. That's why. Because I'm trying to sats before. I think that this is not gonna solve the other thing though. So this the find child function should just get based on the name, the pattern, based on this function here. So it doesn't have unless you pass this argument here. Maybe if I pass recursive, it works. No, it's true by default. Hmm. Oh, this is true. Oh, so it might be because of this actually. So since this is true by default, the children's are not gonna have owner. Hmm. Yeah, I think I have to set all the owners. Like, if the problem is the owner, I'm thinking about why does it work on here? Because here I'm using find child as well. But I guess it works because I'm searching for the nodes that were on the previous tree. But here I'm using, yeah, but the parent supposed should be on the tree. Hmm. Yeah, I guess here it works because I'm only using find child for nodes that are supposed to be already on the tree, so the owner doesn't matter. Because if they are on the tree on the file, it means that they already have an owner. So I think it might be because of the owner, the problem. The reason why it's not finding the other thing, but the other problem I think is something else that I don't understand. It might be related actually, but I think that's probably not because I'm setting the owner on the save. I'm setting the owners here. Hmm. I'm gonna try to just change the add child external function to set the owner. I was doing that, but then I decided to do here. The problem is, I think the easiest way to do this is by setting the owner as a parent, but that's not very good, because they probably should have the string root as the owner, should be added to the file. But getting the owner from the root is gonna be more annoying, I think. Because how do you set the first node? I guess I can just recursively go to the parents until it gets to the point that it doesn't have no parents. There was a function here that I saw that they do something similar. I think it was on the scene tree. The scene tree is something. So maybe it was somewhere else. There was a function where they just, I think they do a loop. But it should be very simple. I'm gonna try with the get parent first. I'm going to go with the debugger, then try with the Yeah, still doesn't find. Hmm. So I think I'm gonna have to spend time studying the load function. Because it must be something that is going on when you load the scene. That for whatever reason, in the context of the engine, when you load the scene, it's gonna be the node that you get as the owner, as the roots of the tree, is gonna be different than the one that I have here. But the thing that I don't understand is that maybe next time I should go step into the function. I think it's probably because it's not getting to the points. Because I'm only setting the owner on one node. I should probably set the owner on all of them to see. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that next. I'm gonna try to do it based on the function, not the other code there. I'm not gonna spend time this. So what the fuck is happening? thinking about like different algorithms should. The easiest way that I'm thinking about is like doing what I was doing before with the breadth first search, but then you have two different vectors instead, and then you check to see if the current is null, because that's how you know you got to the end of the tree, the traversal. So the way that I imagine now that breadth first search is gonna go from the top, which is the roots, then you're gonna traverse in the levels from left to right. And then for each time that you traverse, you're putting the node on the other vector. So the other node's gonna the vector is gonna contain the nodes in the level order traversal. So what you want is the opposite, I think. So that's you start from the bottom where you get the leaps first, then you delete them, and then you go all the way up. I think the easiest way to do this is just to get either you get the final. I guess the easiest one would be to get the final and then just go from the end of the array to the beginning. I'm not sure if that's very good or not. I don't know if that's gonna solve also. I guess now it's running. Hmm. It might be because of the owner then. It's still saying that it's leaking 44. So one thing that I'm gonna do, I have to delete the scene first. See what's gonna happen. I was using this. I was trying to reproduce the slider or the scroll bar that they have on the scroll container on the editor. So apparently they use this stuff here and they do the same. I study how they did it there to do on the do the way that I'm doing there on my node now. You basically just create a theme and then you inside of the theme you have to add a type. Uh, and then after you add the type, it allows you to create style boxes to change the theme for that type. And then you have to create a different style box for each thing, each section of the theme you want to change. But I ended up not doing that way. Just try to do it in a easier way. I learned from how they do it, and then I just implemented a simpler one because the main thing that I wanted to change was just the thickness of the bar. Um, this is kind of weird as well. Oh, this is the whole thing. Seems. I'm gonna open from the editor and then delete the scene. I imagine that this would happen because that's what was happening before. I think all the nodes have to be the owner has to be the root. That's the problem, which is very annoying. If they are not the root, then they are not saved into the scene file. So the other solution is to just find the parents, I think. So I'm gonna delete the scene and change. So it might be related, obviously. So the resource thing might be related with the owner. It is very weird. It's weird because it's running after the function, and this function was supposed to be setting the owners. I guess it didn't solve anything. It's just that there's less nodes, so it's still leaking. But there was no corruption, that's the thing. So here, let me think about. Hmm. The problem can create two different variables and then keep the parent on one of them. Because the issue is that I don't want to go until. So I'm gonna think about the easiest solution. Hmm. I think that's not very good. If I can remember how they did it. I think the way they did it was just, it wasn't the same thing. It was the easiest way. Just like you go in a while loop and then you just keep making the current parents equals to the next one. So just traversing up. But the problem is that I don't want to get to the point where the parent doesn't exist. I want to get to the point where is the last parent. So maybe just while parents get parent. If I search here. Yeah, so these days is maybe just while parents get parents. Or parents get parents. And here and parents. You see, if the parent doesn't exist, then it means that this is the root. Because the first node being added. And if it doesn't have a parent, then it's gonna loop until it's able to get a parent. So when the parent of the parents is no, it breaks, which means that the parent is the root, I think. So I think this probably works. Let me test this. I think there must be a correlation between the owner and the free scene root stuff, because even though I'm setting here, which is supposed to set all the owners, well, it might be because when you traverse, it's traversing through all the nodes of the tree, not only the ones that I. And so maybe if I change the function here, it would solve. Okay. Because I'm only setting the owner for, yeah, but the problem is, like, I don't think that makes sense. Because I don't want to I don't want to save the nodes that are created inside of the constructors. So if I set all the owners, I think it's gonna save everything. It's gonna mess up the thing. So this is annoying as well. Problem is because I deleted the thing. But I think this is related to editor stuff. Game path. Hmm. So obviously the easiest thing to do is just to call with the editor flag. But when I call with the editor flag, I get the other annoying error. I'm just gonna do that now, and then I'll think about it. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's gonna show now. The problem is that I don't know why the other error shows up, but it says that there is a name that is empty, and it's happening on the editor related settings, I think. So it's because of the way that I'm setting the. But it's kind of weird because it should be setting when I place the flag here in the normal way that it usually does. So it's probably because of the way that I'm setting the path. It has to be because of the way that I'm setting the path. That's the only thing that makes sense. So parents or I'm pretty much doing the same thing. The only thing that I'm not doing is going to the next, like skipping arguments, but doesn't matter. So yeah, then some editor configuration stuff. Oh, nice. So now is adding the. So it was because of the owner. And I still have. So that's great because uh, one problem less, let's say. But this is the error that is showing here, which is very annoying. And the other obvious problem is the resources there. Yeah, but now it's saying that it's leaking and it's not crashing. So it was, yeah, it definitely has to do with the owners. So I assume that the problem is something related to the way that the packet sync is gonna work. I think on the saving of the packet sync, there's something happens that I don't understand very well. Or when you save the resource here, that messes up deleting the nodes correctly. I'm gonna go over with the debugger, or maybe it's because I removed this. Let me try this one, then I'll go with the debugger. I'm gonna try. It would be a lot better if I could figure out how to run without the editor because it's just a lot faster. But I think it's a lot more annoying because I have to understand how the main setup's gonna work there. So now it is messing up the heap probably. So what would be the difference? That's in the path. I guess what I can do is go over with a normal project that I had before and then just try to figure out what happens. So I compare both when I'm running just a Cortex and when I'm running a normal project, just see what happens on the loop here. So let me go over the debugger. I think it's probably better to instead of I'm just gonna run now because I still have I changed the node there so I can put the breakpoints. Like the easiest way to set the breakpoints when the name is empty. But I think that's probably better to figure out how to do it without the editor flag. So go over the main setup there and see what happens. I guess I can just change the condition. The easiest way would probably be to change the condition. But the problem is I'm not really sure if it's gonna affect everything else. So there was the condition that I was looking at there where if neither the project manager or the editor is true, it's gonna think that is the game that is running. And I think that's the part where it's gonna throw another warning there. Hmm. If it didn't put breakpoints. So I think that the best guess is probably to do the order. So probably the best thing to do is to try the level order traversal that I was talking about. So do breadth first search, then you create the vector with the levels, and then instead of going from the left to right, you go from the end. And the thing, like it didn't show any error with the name. It's also weird. Oh, it's because I'm running a different thing there. So I think, yeah, I just commented out the E. So let me try that. I think doesn't work. I'm probably gonna spend time thinking about it because I want to be able to finish this first before moving on to anything else. Just to make sure that I don't have this on the back of my mind while I'm trying to do the other stuff. Yeah, so this one doesn't has returns. Doesn't whatever. I create this queue, which is a linked list. I push the using the linked list because the data structure that has the methods for the queue. As the easiest way to implement on Godot, like a queue functionality. So the current one is going to be the root in the beginning. Then it removes, so it's going to be empty. Then I'm getting, at this one I was getting the name. So now, so this should start at the end of the array or the vector, and then I decrease each iteration until I get to the 0. And then I'll delete. So I think what is happening is that it's going from the root here. If it doesn't have the roots, or if it doesn't have the current node, they just skip the iteration. And if it doesn't have, then I just push, so it's gonna start with the roots in this vector. This one is just going over the children of the root and then just pushing them to the queue. So it pops one by one and then pushes the children of each level into the queue again. So this one should be adding the nodes by the level on this vector, which means that if I start removing from the ends, should remove from the bottom to the top. So it might be because of the index there. Yeah. Probably something else that I can do. Just initialize here. And what's here? Guess. Not sure if I remove here, like if I do minus minus. So when you do this operator after the thing is going to decrease the count, but it's going to return the previous value. Let's say the I is 8, is going to get the index of 8 in the current iteration, and then it's going to go to 7 for the next one. So I'm not really sure if I can remove this one from here and then put here. Probably, but maybe it doesn't matter that much. Because it either is trying to access in the beginning, and it's because the size is the same, the index has to be 1 below the size to access the last element, or it's trying to access the end there on the -1 because of the way that I'm doing the minus, the way that I'm decreasing the I. I guess I'm just gonna test like this. The thing, let me test like just with the I first, see if it's still gonna break. And now I'm getting but I'm passing so I'm going to call without the editor flag. Still breaks. So it should be because of the other one. I guess you're just gonna do -1 here, whatever. or this. I could just make -1 here. It's probably better. Yeah, so let me go over with the debugger. I guess the only explanation now should be something to do with the setup there, I think. I should have ran with the editor flag first, see if it's gonna work. I should. I don't know. The debugger is running with the verbose flag, but the thing is, that, like, just stepping over is not gonna allow me to figure out because I already know the parts where it does the message, and I think I have a breakpoint there as well for the resource leaks, but it doesn't allow me to understand. It's like the only way is to just spend time thinking about it, to see if I can understand why. So either I think that the main two paths of exploration that I should go is either just study the setup on the main, or to study the resource saver and how does it clean up everything. Yeah, I think on both of these cases, it's kind of hard to figure out uh, what is the best way to see what are the nodes that are not being removed. The message is going to show there that like I think it does show some information about the nodes, but it's still kind of hard to think about. I think it's on the next one that is gonna have a message. Oh, I forgot. I should go into this next time. Yeah. Oh, I think I understand what is going on. So probably when I save, I create a different node. And the reason why it works on the other ones is because I'm deleting the same nodes. So the nodes that I'm saving are the same, but on this one is different. But that wouldn't make any sense, I think. Because I'm still passing the same node here, so it should be the same logic. But on the other one, I load the node first. So the easiest way to see, but the thing is that I don't think that's the problem, but I'm gonna test anyway. Just not save the scene and see if it's gonna clean up. I should delete this. Yeah, same thing. I do think there. Do think it's not working. I do think there is a difference though. So it's still not working, but I think when I have the thing, it complains about more leaked resources. So maybe there is something to do with this. The other thing to test is to run with the editor flag. It's not fine. Yeah, so now it leaks 67. So there's definitely something to do with the savings thing. The thing that is weird to me is just that it's working on the other one. So assume that obviously it's going to be linked. So when you load the scene and you will instantiate and then you save the same nodes that you loaded, then it probably is definitely going to be different. That's the only explanation. Because on the other one is working. So it's both that. Let me see if there is anything to do with the editor flag. I think the easiest thing to do is it still leaks. So it's the same shit. 7. So one of the problems, the thing is that it's gonna leak anyway for the other stuff. I can see here also there is a function not clear. Yeah, I'm gonna call this clear. Well, what else can be the problem? So the only other explanation I think would be something to do with the configuration. So probably the best thing to do is just spend a bunch of time comparing the different situations. So I'm just gonna step over the command line arguments, and I'm gonna test with two different projects. I'm gonna do it with the Cortex and with an ARMA project. Just see the difference. Because the sync tree and the some of the classes, I think the singletons, they're gonna have functions that are called at the end of the execution on the engine. I think on the main finalize or something. And then those functions are gonna be responsible for cleaning up the nodes that are part of the scene. But I think like it's weird to me because both the headless from before and the stuff that I'm doing now, like the main difference is just the path. The way that I'm doing now, I'm setting the path on the code, and in the other way, I was passing the path. But it should be the same because the argument, I just took the code from the argument, so that's the thing that is weird. So it's still complaining about 67. That's very weird as well. So obviously the only explanation is that this doesn't have anything to do with the... I think that the thing here saves or creates nodes, probably. Like, mm. Oh, so this might be the problem, but not sure. Because the name empty thing only shows up when I pass the editor flag. So I'm not really sure if this... Because it would be the other way around if that was the problem here. But maybe it could be because I ran one time without passing, and then I ran the other time passing, so the editor doesn't know. Because if you run without the editor hint, then the editor is gonna create... I'm creating the sync file, the cache, without the information from the editor. No, but I think that this is probably not the issue. It might be though. Might be. It might be one of the issues, but it's not the main one I'm trying to figure out now, which is cleaning the nose there. it could be because when on the other one I'm running with the editor flag, and then I'm loading on my code, but it's setting up the stuff on the editor. So I think it does create the editor node on the other one, and when it does create the editor node, it probably runs code on the editor node, should deal with the files and like the cache, the configuration, stuff like that. So maybe when you load after using the editor flag, the editor puts the nodes on some data structure that is going to be automatically cleaned later. I think that's the only thing that would make sense. So maybe exploring along those lines is probably the best thing you should do. So I'm gonna write down the different. So one, let's compare. What would be the true? I think those are the three main paths here. This 40. I guess the other thing that I'm gonna try now. It's probably easier to try this first. Just copy the code there. Oh, it might be because I have to unwrap this. Hmm. I don't think it's because of the unwrap, because I'm not saving this anywhere. Put this here. Let me try just in case. Let me try this. That's very weird. So it can't be the resource loader. It has to be something to do with resource saver, otherwise it wouldn't change the amount of resources that are leaked when I don't use the saver. So it's something to do with the saver. Which is very weird as well because it doesn't seem that. I'm gonna look into the documentation. So I do remember reading somewhere, I think it was on LLM outputs, that the packet sync or something like that automatically, if they create nodes, they automatically delete. But I don't remember if that's the case. And I think it's gonna be kind of hard to. It's just gonna have to spend a bunch of time on the resource saver, which I wanna avoid right now. Yeah, it's not gonna have anything here. So interesting. So it's not calling there, and it's still leaking resources. So obviously it must be something else. So let me. So there's probably there are some resources from maybe it's not deleting the roots on my thing there. Let's see if I use this one if it works. Yeah, same thing. So another thing that I can try is to pass the path as well. I'm not passing. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, the thing that I should do is just comment out this part here and then pass with the path and the thing. Oh, it still leaks though. Huh. So it might be. Let me. So it might be something that I did some time ago and I didn't realize, but like it's very weird because I do remember like running from the command line all the time and I wasn't seeing this. It was just recent that this happened. So what is going on? Might be because of the I was running the other project to see if it's the icon sidebar, but I think it's probably not. It has to be something else because this one also leaks canvas items. So the problem is that this doesn't give me like it's hard to think about a good way to explore this because obviously I don't want to waste time trying to figure out or explore the paths that don't make sense. And because there's so many parts, it's kind of hard to think about a direction to go. Like, so I think there's a combination of things. It's not just so it's both my code there for whatever reason. So I guess another thing that I can try is to remove the. So now I'm not really sure. I'm pretty sure that I ran this like way before from the command line, and it wasn't giving me anything. It wasn't leaking resource. I guess I can run again, just I can run on the same way that I was running before. This way. I think it has to be something recent. I guess it could be a class that I created. This condition is the stuff that I was seeing before. It's just a warning, but it doesn't matter. Those things here. Yeah, so here it doesn't show. Hmm. So maybe I didn't run in the normal way for a long time, and this was something I did like some time ago. It could be maybe the HTML manager. Oh, but I'm deleting there. This is gonna be hard, I think. So I have to spend a bunch of time thinking. I'm gonna stop streaming now. The issue is that there could be like many potential problems, and there's no way for me to know like exactly what kind of what is the object that is being leaked. That's the problem. Because now I don't know. I think that it is what I'm doing there. There is a problem with the way that I'm doing there on the Cortex code now because it's leaking more. But there's definitely one that probably came before this. Register. Maybe it's the global signal. This, but I'm pretty sure I did delete this. Yeah, global signals. Yeah. So what the fuck's going on? It doesn't make sense to be the handless part because it's still leaking on the other project. Like this project doesn't have. When I don't run with the headless code, it shouldn't have anything to do. So it must be something generic. I think that it has to do with the modules that I have there. So it has to be one of the classes I think that I created. So maybe the best thing to do is just to, yeah, but the problem is if I comment out the class that I created, I think it's gonna break more things. And apparently is only one object that is being. One thing that I can test is comment out all the classes there that I have on the Brahma module. It looks like it has something to do with this, like the export presets, but I don't remember, like I didn't change anything. I studied the export presets, but I didn't change anything. So maybe it was it already came from. I guess another what I can do is just download the Godot, the source code, and then try to run to just see what happens. I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna download the source code from the. But it's gonna complain about. So I guess I'll create another object, another. I created a scene on the other one, and I just copy the scene that I have there on one of the projects, and then I try to run from the command line. That's probably the best thing to do to see. But I assume it's probably not gonna have anything leaked, I think. I'm gonna stop streaming now, so I'm gonna try to figure this out off stream. I'm not sure how long it's gonna take to do this. Once I figure this out, I'm going to continue to work on the list here of things. So I'll see you then.